Welcome, Recording Academy members. My name is Shay M. Lawson, and I am a current governor on the Atlanta chapter board, and I also serve as co-chair for both the Diversity and Inclusion and Advocacy committees here in Atlanta. Allow me to welcome you on behalf of the Atlanta chapter staff, Michelle Kaplinger and Aaron Baxter, our Atlanta chapter board, and the Recording Academy at large. We care about you, our members, and all of our music community, and we are sorely aware of the many challenges the music industry has endured and continues to face during this unprecedented time. And so we are here with another financial lunch and learn, and our hope is that today's session will offer you an update on necessary resources that are right here in Atlanta and the state of Georgia to better navigate this unlikely period. Today's program will cover topics including live venues, grants from the city, and resources from companies such as Netflix and Citibank and more. I am excited to welcome our panelists that will be a part of our open mic roundtable on resources for the Atlanta community. First, I will start with Nathan Regan. Nathan currently serves as the Senior Vice President of Economic Development at Invest Atlanta, where he leads the agency's small business development, innovation, entrepreneurship, business expansion, foreign direct investment, and creative industries activities. A man of many hats.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Before joining Invest Atlanta, Mr. Regan worked in both private industry and the public sector. He worked as a legislative fellow to a member of the House, the U.S. House of Representatives, still focusing on economic development and jobs. And so we're very excited to have him here. Thank you so much for joining us, Nathan. Next, we have Alan Fox. Alan is the Director of Creative Industry Partnerships at the Georgia Department of Economic Development. Before that, Alan was a consultant with PricewaterhouseCoopers and a staffer under former Governor Nathan Deal. And last but not least, we have Phillana Williams. Phillana is the Director of the Atlanta Mayor's Office of Film and Entertainment, under the leadership of Atlanta's 60th Mayor, Keisha Lanta Bottoms. Phillana is responsible for spearheading strategic partnerships that align with the mayor's platform and promise to all Atlantans. And prior to working with the mayor's office, she was the vice president of digital label services at TuneCore, where she built the new US division for the company, which included signing artists and music companies to global partnerships. Welcome, Alan and Phillana.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we are going to go ahead and dive in because we have a lot to cover. And so first we will start with Alan Fox, the Director of Creative Industry Partnerships at the Georgia Department of Economic Development.
Thank you, Shay, and appreciate being a part of this panel today. I know a lot of us have been kind of concerned, I think, of what's happening with our music industry, particularly as it relates to our musicians and our vendors, and holistically as a music ecosystem. And I think we know that our music industry will be the last industry to come back online. So we at the state have essentially tried to find ways to, I think, incentivize our creative industries, particularly our music industry, to think outside the box about how we get live performance venues back online. So the first thing that we did at Economic Development is work with our friends at the Department of Agriculture, our friends at Department of Public Health, and our tourism friends across the state to repurpose drive-in theaters to be drive-in concert venues. We know this is certainly not a Tabernacle, we know this is certainly not Mercedes-Benz, but we wanted to give music back to our communities and figure out ways to engage tourism contacts and communities that are eager for live music. So we worked with AA Productions to help promote the Georgia Grown Concert Series, which was a series of concerts all across the state in Dalton and Jessup and Regan County. And we've had discussions with contacts across the state to really kind of give music back, utilize particularly our country music contacts to promote music, and to use a lot of these small businesses that are associated with live performance concerts, right? Sound technicians, right? The stage setup crew, the security, and particularly as it relates to food services, doing it in a way that promotes public health, is under the guidelines of the governor, as well as working with Department of Public Health and our public safety community to make sure that everyone is following the rules and social distancing appropriately. So that was kind of, it gave us kind of our first step into that, Shay, but I think now we're looking at, you know, following the executive order of the governor as it relates to performance live venues, and kind of giving the tools to our music industry, as well as our venue contacts across the state, ways in which to have live music come back again in accordance with the governor's executive order. So if you go to our website, georgia.org/COVID-19, there is the latest executive order from the governor, particularly as it relates to live venues. And we wanted, you know, there's stipulations that the governor has in terms of social distancing, in terms of making sure that protocols are made regarding touchless screens, regarding sanitation, making sure that those are followed, but not, you know, locking music completely out of coming back online. So that's what we've been doing, is kind of working with particularly, like, you know, our chambers across the state and folks and musicians that want to come back online. We know it's not going to be like it was before COVID, but we didn't want to completely allow our music folks to kind of sit on the backside and waiting for things to come back to normal. So we've tried to do that. We know there's a huge tourism element when it comes to live music. So working with our tourism contacts across the state, particularly as it comes down to the coast and in our northern region, the mountains, that's tourism is huge. So we know we're kind of building this airplane as we go along, and I'm going to, my contact I'll put in the chat. If anyone has any ideas, or musicians want to reach out to want to be a part of this concert, or looking for ways to engage with our office to make sure if they're doing a live performance concert in accordance with the guidelines of the executive order by the governor, we want to work with you. We want to make sure that we're giving our musicians an opportunity to do that. You know, finally, we have on our website, Shay, I think I've discussed this with Michelle on an earlier Zoom with your members. We are always updating our georgia.org/COVID-19 film, which is our entertainment resource webpage, which we do have music resources available, particularly as it relates to a lot of the information you're going to hear from my colleagues from the mayor's office in Invest Atlanta later during this Zoom, about the resources available from the state side. Again, putting the flare out there. If anyone has any other resources from our education standpoint, or from philanthropies, we would love to promote that from our website. So just please let us know if we should be including something as it relates to musicians. So again, you know, we're here to help. But we're also here to recognize that we've got to think we're an industry of creative artists. So if there's anyone that wants to think creatively how to get music back online, we're here to serve as a resource and help. So please reach out to me or anyone in our office if we can help think of the ideas that the state is doing in accordance with the executive order by the governor. And finally, I think a little bit of news, the lieutenant governor has put out an order from the legislature. Chairman Jeff Mullis is putting together a music industry study committee that has bipartisan members on it to look at the music industry as a whole for the state, and how that provides jobs and economic investment, and engages all parts of the economic development supply chain, just like our film industry does. So that's something that's forthcoming. And then our office is working with a vendor to kind of get together a lot of our music directory, a music business directory of small businesses and studio space and vendors and PR executives and musicians housed at the state level, just like we do for the film industry. So we're working to build that out to show that our music industry is a vibrant kind of collaboration of small businesses and Georgians, everyday Georgians that are working in this industry, not just from the person and behind the microphone, but all of us that work in this industry and all elements of it. So we're thinking about that, but we know it's going to be a long time before we get back to normality, and we're here to help and serve as a resource. And thanks again for the opportunity to speak today.
Thank you so much, Alan. Just really quickly, if we have members in our chapter that will want to be a part of that music industry directory, how can they do that?
There will be more information from our office forthcoming. So we obviously will work with you. Expect an email from us on how to register your business with that industry. We had kind of a template going forward. Obviously, COVID hit, and how we could aggregate that. So please stay tuned. We're gonna work with your members to be a part of that directory.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So members, you hear that live music is possible. We know that is a key source of livelihood for so many of us in our community. And as we had earlier discussions, we all have been trying to navigate what the new normal is. And so please definitely reach out to Alan and the Georgia Department of Economic Development so that you can work to ensure that you can host live music, but do it safely within state regulations. And we are so glad that we can have this resource and we can have this option to bring live music back to Georgia. So thank you again, Alan. Next, we will move over to Nathan Regan, who again is the Senior Vice President of Economic Development at Invest Atlanta. And I know you all have some very exciting, very new news to share with us. So I will open it up to you now.
Well, Shay, thank you so much for this opportunity and really for allowing us to spread the word about what we're doing in the city of Atlanta. And so we're very excited to have this conversation today. I mean, most of you may not know that the creative industry sector represents almost $37 billion worth of revenue and employs almost 100,000 Georgians in the state. I mean, that's a huge impact for the state of Georgia. And we know the creative industries are a real winner for the state of Georgia. In the music industry alone, it represents almost $3.7 billion worth of revenue, $5 billion of that when you include live music and festivals and music tourism. And a lot of that is happening in the city of Atlanta. And certainly we want to make sure at Invest Atlanta that all of our programs are geared towards our music professionals. These music professionals can be independent artists and gig workers who haven't been touched in some way by this federal response that we've seen with the PPE. That's a big issue, because if you're not employed by an employer who offers some sort of protection or coverage, then you're left out in the cold. So and so glad to see Phillana on this morning. Phillana and I have been working very closely with the mayor. And we want to thank the mayor for her leadership and Phillana's leadership in helping us create the CreATL fund. It is certainly a mouthful. But we knew when the COVID crisis hit that we would have to support our small businesses, but we also knew that we would have to go immediately to help support our gig workers who would be left out in the cold. So we worked very closely with Phillana. We also want to thank our partner, City National Bank, who made a very generous donation, and all those others who have donated to us for the CreATL fund to be able to reach out to our gig workers and to be able to provide some sort of support. So we did create the CreATL fund. That fund allows gig workers to apply for a $1,000 grant. You have to just prove that you actually are in the creative industry sector, prove that you're inside the city, and some other requirements that we put on our website. And you can find all of those things on investatlanta.com, and I'll include some of those in the chat. So we did have a huge, overwhelming response to that program, and I'm just going to give you some data and figures so that you guys will have that. But for this program alone, we had almost 1,300 people apply for our CreATL fund, and so we consider that a huge response and able to serve those people. This $1,000 makes the difference between being able to make it through the next month, through your bills. I mean, it is really a lifeline, and we see it as a lifeline to help our creative industry, and specifically the music industry, to be able to make it through this COVID crisis. And we are working very closely with Phillana and the mayor's office and all of our partners to identify additional funding to be able to fund the CreATL fund. So if you're listening and you're out there and you want to donate, you can go to Atlanta Strong and make those donations, or Phillana or myself can help walk you through that. So at Invest Atlanta, we're thinking about these types of programs to get people through COVID. But apart from that, and even before that, we have other resources available to creatives in the city of Atlanta. And I've included those on the chat portion here. But we do have a creative industries loan fund that is still open and available. We have low interest, very flexible terms on our creative industries loan fund. So if you're out there, you're an artist, you're a filmmaker, you're a recording artist, and you want to actually take your project to the next level, there are programs at Invest Atlanta that are available to you. And we're continually looking to innovate and create new programs that address gaps in the system. And so we are looking at those things on a continual basis. And I want to thank our partners at the state. You guys are always great partners for us as we're looking to bring new investment and new jobs into the city. So that's my update that I'll give for people today. You can always find up-to-date information, not just about our creative industry sector, but about every sector that we cover in the city on our website, which is investatlanta.com. And we do not just put our programs, but we have other people's programs. We have a COVID-19 response page, so people can find other programs that are offering financial aid out there. We have that on our website, and I'll include that in the chat as well. And just thank you for this venue. The music industry is so critical to the city, making it a place that people want to live and be vibrant. And so we got to make sure that we use all of the levers that we have in economic development to move those forward. Thank you so much, Shay.
Thank you so much, Nathan. So before I let you go, I do have two questions for you. So one, can you talk a bit about the Resurgence grant program that Invest Atlanta just launched at the top of August? And then
yes.
The second question.
Oh gosh, well, I appreciate you reminding me of that. And obviously that is a huge program. So as part of the CARES Act dollars, the city of Atlanta received an $88 million allocation to help the city come through COVID. Invest Atlanta was awarded $22 million of that. Now this program is for businesses in the city. You have to meet all the eligibility requirements. You have to have a City of Atlanta business license. You have to have been in business for at least a year. And so there's some, and I'll include those in the chat as well. But that program offers up to $40,000 worth of reimbursable COVID-related expenses. So if you're a recording studio, and let's say that now because of COVID, you have to put in new protective measures, plexiglass or PPE, or if you have to really revamp your website, to be able to get people to come in, all of those expenses that have been put out by the U.S. Treasury that are reimbursable, you can apply for this program, and you should apply for this program to have those costs reimbursed. Now, one other thing on this one that I will say is actually pretty unique, and I think we're pretty proud of, is that we are offering all of our applicants who are approved through this program $10,000 worth of technical assistance. So you will have a host of technical service providers that you can choose from, who can help you not just get through COVID, but actually make your business stronger coming out of COVID. And so the thinking is that if you have, you have some legal questions, you have finance questions, or you've got to revamp your website or change some things, you can actually work with our service providers up to $10,000 worth of service to make you better on the back end. And so really, really important. Couple of key things that people should know is that the closing date is August the 31st. Please do not wait. Please do not wait.
Do this today. When this finishes, today. Go click and do this today.
Do it today. And the other thing that I always like to tell, and Shay, you've probably heard me say this before, but do yourself a favor, make sure that you follow all of the instructions. If we ask for a copy of your City of Atlanta business license, please make sure that you include a copy of that. Make sure that you include all the documentation that we're asking for. These are federal dollars, so we are under federal guidelines. So we want to make sure that we're following the letter of the law. But this is an amazing program. It's a great opportunity to get our businesses and our small businesses through this pandemic. So please take a look at that link that I'll include on the side.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that overview. And so my very last question, I wanted to circle back to the $1,000 grant that you mentioned for gig workers. Can you, and I think this is something that a lot of people in our music community struggle with because we truly are gig workers. What is an example of proof that you are a gig worker?
Oh my gosh, that's such a great question. And you know, it's funny when you open these types of programs up to the general public, you get a ton of responses. People are sending all kinds of interesting things. But if you are a performer and you have a bill, you know, one of your performance pamphlets, you can upload that. If you are doing sound work, you can upload, you know, one of your CDs. I mean, there's a ton of things that you can do to prove. And this is, you know, we look at these things, we review them to make sure that they're legit, because, well, we have to, and you should be making sure that things are actually following the letter of the law. But you can include any of the work that you're doing. If it's creative industries, if it's performance, you know, we actually have a lot of people who are performance oriented. So dancers, even had some people from the ballet applying. So there's a ton of ways that you can include that type of evidence. And that's such a great question.
Awesome. Thank you so much again for coming and giving us all of those resources. And so we are now going to shift over to Phillana Williams. And again, for our members who are watching, Phillana is the director of the Atlanta Mayor's Office of Film and Entertainment. And so thank you so much for joining us. I know the city is definitely a hub of entertainment, to say the least. And so we're looking forward to hearing about what Mayor Bottoms has for our members.
Thank you, Shay, and thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nathan and Alan, for your incredible leadership. I am so very proud of the city of Atlanta and Georgia for everything that we've done as a community to make sure that our creatives are receiving the help, the much needed help that they need during this time period. And I know Nathan and Alan both touched on the fact that the entertainment industry has been the most hard hit by this pandemic, and honestly will be one of the last industries to come back. So just to see all of us and our partners come together, and even musicians and actors and entertainers and all types of artists and people, executives involved in the entertainment industry, come together as a community to help each other, it has been amazing to witness. I am the director of the Mayor's Office of Film and Entertainment, and I'm about to share my screen with you guys. And I would love to talk with you about some of the resources that we have available. So again, my name is Phillana Williams. I'm the director of the Mayor's Office of Film and Entertainment. The Mayor's Office of Film and Entertainment, also known as AMOFI, is the official film office for the city of Atlanta. Our office encompasses the key economic and creative sectors of film, TV, music, sports, technology, fashion, and digital content. We have a subset of our office, which is our digital platform, and we call that platform Set South. And that platform services the productions and constituents who engage in or are impacted by Atlanta's entertainment business. Our office has two directors, Cordelia Hunter. She actually works alongside myself, and Cordelia is specifically responsible for permitting and production within the city of Atlanta. So when you think about big companies like Paramount Pictures, Sony Pictures, Netflix, etc., when they want to film in the city of Atlanta, Cordelia Hunter is at the forefront of that, making sure that they are served, super served, and that the city is also protected, and all the filming is under the guidelines of the city. And then myself, and my job is more primarily the marketing and strategy for our office, economic development for our office and for the city of Atlanta. There's a lot of filming that happens in the city, and not only filming, but when you think about all of our other entertainment sectors, from music to fashion to gaming, it is my job to make sure that not only are we growing this economy in the city, but we are also making sure that Atlantans are participating in the economic growth and the workforce of the entertainment industry. Next, I would like to talk about some key resources that Georgia's entertainment industry has during the pandemic. The first is the Creatio Relief Fund, and Nathan mentioned this fund as well. This fund was established by Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, and it offers grants to independent creative in the business. It's a $1,000 grant, and it helps to address the negative impact of the virus. The Greater Atlanta COVID-19 and Recovery Fund are grants to organizations supporting families with young children and children on free and reduced lunch and individuals without health insurance. It also provides access to sick days or access to health care. Seniors and older adults too, low-wage workers, including hospitality, service workers, and gig economy workers. Atlanta's Musicians Emergency Relief Fund. This organization is donating grocery gift cards to qualifying music professionals amid the coronavirus crisis. If you are home-based in the vicinity of Atlanta and have experienced financial hardship due to the lack of paying gigs, contact AMERF for help. The City of Atlanta Resurgence Grant Fund is for eligible businesses that may be awarded grants of up to $40,000 plus a credit of up to $10,000 of additional technical assistance to reimburse costs associated with adapting business operations in a post-COVID environment. Actors Fund offers a variety of services for entertainment workers, including those in the music industry. Services include emergency financial assistance, affordable housing, health care, and insurance counseling, senior care, and secondary career development. Freelance Co-op Emergency Fund connects creative freelancers with business resources. They've created an emergency fund for freelancers adversely affected by the pandemic. Examples of funding and usage are unexpected childcare costs due to school closures, client cancellations, and medical expenses due to the virus itself. Netflix has a $100 million fund created to help with hardship in the creative community. Netflix is also donating $1 million each to the SAG-AFTRA Foundation, COVID Disaster Fund, and the Motion Picture and Television Fund. American Guild of Musical Artists is offering financial assistance to members in good standing. These grants are awarded on a case-by-case basis. Sony Music's $100 million Global Relief Fund is to support those around the world, including Atlanta and the city of Georgia, who have been affected by the virus. The Global Fund is designed to bring relief to medical workers on the front line, and it's also hoping to support creators and other partners in the entertainment community. Live Nation has raised over $15 million to support live music crews who have been affected by the ongoing pandemic. The money raised so far is able to help crew members across 36 countries who were impacted by the rescheduled or canceled shows that were taking place through June. Artist Relief Project is for anyone pursuing arts as a career. They can request financial support, which will provide applicants on a first-come, first-served basis with a one-time emergency stipend of $200 and free resources and support to pursue alternative economic opportunities. Artists and Culture Leaders of Color Emergency Fund is a fund that provides up to $200 for Black, Indigenous, people of color, artists and administrators, box office staff, seasonal temporary employees who have been affected by the pandemic. Creative Capital, who's always been anchored in a rich spirit of community, has created a list of resources for artists working in all disciplines, as well as arts and art professionals. Producers Guild of America is a fund made possible by a generous lead gift from former PGA President Mark Gordon in the amount of $100,000. Members who are in need of emergency financial relief due to the coronavirus can apply for aid. The SBA Economic Injury Disaster Loan is designed to provide economic relief to businesses that are currently experiencing a temporary loss of revenue, and those businesses include businesses in the entertainment sector. I would like to quickly discuss Georgia's best practices for film and television. The Georgia Film Office encourages film and television companies to develop strategies to support the health and safety of their cast and crew as production activity restarts. It is advised that before filming commences, all production personnel and suppliers become familiar with potential risks and strategic measures for filming. We encourage individuals to take personal responsibility as well as an active role in maintaining a clean and healthy set. And for more information on the best practices, you can go to the link provided on this screen. And that is it. I believe that my information is also in the chat. Also, there should be a link of this presentation in the chat too, Shay, that those interested in any of the grants and opportunities that I just mentioned can go to that link and find out about more of the things that I discussed. There's a link that takes you directly to each grant and opportunity.
Awesome. That was really thorough. So thank you so much to your office for putting together that presentation. I think something that you really hit the nail on the head was about our crews, our sound, our engineers, all of the people who work behind the scenes to bring our projects to life. And there are so many people, we don't realize that it's not just that person that you see on the stage. There are so many other people who have lost jobs and income and opportunity because of COVID and the shutdown of the industry. So thank you so much for how thorough the presentation was, especially in the resources that are available to those who help everything happen, from our ticket box office to our consultants and managers. And so we thank you so much for those. I want to wrap this up and remind our members that live music is possible. Live music is possible. Alan talked about all of the resources that are available to you, and the state of Georgia wants to work with you to help you bring live music back, but to do it safely. We heard from both Nathan and Phillana, and we talked about all of the resources that are available for you to be able to shift your business, to cover your expenses, get access to healthcare, groceries, childcare, and other expenses. Some are grants and some are loans, but understand that there are people who are here to help you in the process. There are resources on every level, from city to county to state, right here, that I don't want you to feel overwhelmed when we're talking about the SBA loans and PPP. There is more than that out there, and it is available for our music community. And I'm just so grateful to each of our panelists today for taking the time to join us, to give us insight in our community, and just really be a part of this roundtable that we really are family. Music is the heartbeat of Atlanta and the entertainment industry as a whole. And so we just want to make sure that we make it through these tough times. So again, Nathan, Alan, Phillana, thank you for joining us. On behalf of the Atlanta chapter staff, Michelle Kaplinger and Aaron Baxter, our Atlanta chapter board, and the Recording Academy at large, I am Shay M. Lawson, governor here in the Atlanta chapter, and we want to thank you so much for taking the afternoon to join this financial lunch and learn.